when we worry about what happens due to osteoporosis, it's that if you fall, from a standing height or whatever, you could break a bone. And so the fractures are really what we're trying to prevent with people who have osteoporosis. Now, many people who don't fall and may not fracture may have osteoporosis or low bone density their whole lives and won't fracture, and just need to be careful, right, to make sure that they don't fall or that they don't put themselves in a situation where they might, be prone to fractures. But for others, and it really depends, it's very individual, like all diseases are. Others can break a bone by sneezing, or I've spoken with patients who their family gently hugged them and they broke bones in their back or in their ribs. So it can very much vary, right? But fractures is ultimately we're trying to prevent. And again, even though, like I said, if we break a wrist or break a leg or something like that, we might think, oh, I just tripped on the black ice, it's not that bad. But if that happens, your likelihood of fracturing again from a fall increases by 3 to 7-fold. So we really want to identify people who have fallen and fractured because they are the most at risk to fracture again. And then also we want to make sure that we're looking at people who are, as they age, the hip fractures become much more of a problem. And with hip fractures, they are the most deadly fracture. So the statistic, which I really, before I started at BHOF, I didn't even believe, is that about 25% of people who break a hip due to osteoporosis will die within the first year after the fracture. Complications from trying to recover and things that happen, that's really the statistic, So that's really frightening where someone has broken a bone. Then 50% of people who break a hip due to osteoporosis will need to have an ambulatory device for the rest of their life, a cane, a walker, something like that, right? So really, and then another, I think all but 5% really have an opportunity to just go back to normal, right? We also see about 20% end up going to a nursing home or some other extended care facility or an assisted living facility. So the hip fractures particularly are, the worst outcomes. And so we spend a lot of time at BHOF and stuff addressing that type of fracture and trying to prevent that fracture. But all fractures need to be prevented. So again, paying attention to our bone health, from childhood through our senior years is incredibly important.